These are 30 things you should know from the Kingdom Hearts Missing Link beta. This is the next Kingdom Hearts title coming to iOS and Android that will continue the story of the Kingdom Hearts series. Taking place in a lost era of time, players are able to customize their own wielder and explore the worlds around them. The UK and Japan Missing Link beta has officially begun, but this time around, players who are participating are allowed to share their footage online. This means we finally have a full look at what the game is going to look like on full release. I mentioned that this is the UK and Japan beta since it is currently not available in the United States. This is where I'm located, so all the footage in this video will be from other players who are currently participating. I'll include their names as the footage appears on the screen. But the beta has only just begun and there's already tons of new content to take a look at. So much so that I found 30 things that I thought would be incredibly valuable for you to know. From the gameplay to the music, we scrubbed through all the footage to put it all together for you. But before I get into it at all, please let me know in the comment section below your feelings towards Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. I know a lot of people try to dismiss this game because it's on mobile devices, but there are certain things in this beta that leads me to believe that this is much more in-depth than any other Kingdom Hearts mobile title. Being able to battle in 3D environments already goes such a long way. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit that like button. Each like makes it so when they finally have that United States beta, your boy can jump in on it and give you my first impressions of the game hands-on. But without further ado, these are 30 things you should know from the Kingdom Hearts Missing Link beta. For starters, this game begins with a dive to the heart moment. We've seen this shown off in previous trailers, but this time around we get to see combat happen in this moment, as this is the first thing players do when they boot up the game. It isn't a Kingdom Hearts game without opening with a dive to the heart. You can see from this clip alone that the gameplay feels very similar to a traditional Kingdom Hearts game. At the very beginning of the game, you are given the option between 3 different trophies to choose from. Each one represents the Dream Sword, Shield, and Staff from previous Kingdom Hearts games. This time it's replaced with Donald, Goofy, and Mickey to choose from. Selecting this one will act as the first trophy players can use in combat. There's also the character customization, which is the most vast we've ever seen in a Kingdom Hearts game. In Union Cross, it was also possible to alter the look of your characters, but this takes it to an entirely new level. You can change their hair, body type, facial hair, and like so much more. This game even allows you to pick a certain hex color when picking out your design, allowing even more customization options with the outfits. There's even an option to make it so you have 2 different color eyes, which is something that I appreciate incredibly since I also have heterochromia. You can also unlock more outfits as the game progresses, but we'll get into that later. We also get a look at a brand new Scala and Caelum logo. With the game taking place mainly in Scala and Caelum, stars overtake the skies of this world's logo. There's also this carnival-like font taking over the bottom section. Of course, this version of Scala and Caelum's logo is drastically different than the one we see in Kingdom Hearts 3, as obviously something happens to this world causing it to change in the future. Still, a new world logo is always nice to take a look at. The game also offers a brand new Scala and Caelum overworld theme when exploring the town. This track is brand new and is so much different than the version we got in Kingdom Hearts 3. The song itself is a lot more serene and peaceful, making it perfect for the town theme. Scala is always showing up with some of the best music in the series. The game is made with both horizontal and vertical play in mind with a seamless transition, meaning you're able to play the full game with one hand, but if you decide to turn the screen to the side, the whole game itself will shift over. And it's as simple as just turning the screen, no need to enter an entirely new menu to get there. The UI completely changes to match the new angle you're playing in. We also got a bit of new information regarding our new friends in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. The official names of these 2 characters are Freya and Ramus, and Kingdom Hearts is keeping the trend of naming characters from mythology. In other Kingdom Hearts mobile titles, we get Baldur, Sigurd, Skuld, and Odin as characters. This time, Freya is the Norse goddess of love, fertility, battle, and death, with Ramus's name originally from Roman mythology as one of the twin brothers responsible for finding the city of Rome. Now, does this mean that Ramus is going to play a big part in the background origin of Scala and Caelum? Only time will tell. But in Roman mythology, Ramus is part of a duo with another being called Romulus. Now, we haven't seen Romulus in Kingdom Hearts just yet, but if anything, it seems like these 2 characters are going to be pretty close to one another. We also get the full cutscene of the player character and Ramus working together to defeat a dark side Heartless. In this, we get a better look at Ramus's Keyblade, which is summoned in a glow of flames. I mean, his character design alone looks like he would use fire as his main attack, but that does lead the question of, does this character have connections with another fire-related character that we know from Kingdom Hearts? Of course, since this game takes place in the past, only time will tell. The particle effects of this weapon remind me a lot of the chakrams that Axel uses. Our character will be labeled as a drifter, which is a new term in the Kingdom Hearts series, referring to those without memories that appear on the beach in Scala and Caelum once in a blue moon. It's assumed that they arrived from another world through the distortions, but there's no measurement of how they got there. This in itself reminds me a lot of how Sora ended up in Traverse Town at the start of Kingdom Hearts 1, as it seems our character was flung into this new world. Although there are mentions of other drifters showing up on the beach. These will likely be important characters once they make their appearances. When you're not in the game's GPS mode, you're able to travel on foot around the town. A neat new inclusion is the ability to listen in on NPC conversations. They might have a small lore dump, but they do make the city feel much more alive, kind of providing us context of the time period and how the characters feel about it. Not only that, but it's also possible to encounter other players in your town. You can approach them and interact to see their level and profile. It might even be possible to have your friends visit your town as one of the pedestrians. I think this feature is pretty dope and makes the game feel much more alive. While exploring the town, you'll be able to speak with a new type of Moogle, the Guide Moogle. This Moogle is decked out in a new purple hoodie and will offer quests for the player to complete. First off, look at this drip, he is adorable. These challenges can then be done in the Astral Plane and you'll be able to return to collect some rewards. It's even possible to unlock tougher enemies in the Astral Plane by clearing out the Moogle challenges, likely a character that we're going to be going back to a lot. To jump between Scala and Caelum and the Astral Plane, you need to head over to the construction area. This acts as a link between the two worlds, as the Astral Plane is the location that matches more of the real world where most of the exploration is happening. You'll be jumping back and forth between the Astral Plane and Scala often by using this pathway. I feel like this portal will be important in Kingdom Hearts 4, as Sora can possibly use it to jump back to Quadratum and the Kingdom Hearts universe, but for now though, this is the introduction of the gateway between these realities. The Astral Plane is actually surprisingly accurate to the real world, often matching the height of certain buildings to the actual counterparts. You'll be able to run up buildings to defeat Heartless, and you can physically go there by using the GPS mode, but it is possible to move the character on the mode freely without needing to leave the house. Leaving the house though will offer you more AP, making it easier to participate in certain challenges without a cooldown. There is also an option to turn off the name of the real world locations within the game. Funny enough, I found this bit of information directly from the Kingdom Hearts Missing Link Twitter account, pointing out that players should be careful when sharing images and videos of their locations, because obviously that's dangerous for people to know, especially for players who will be mainly playing at home. Fortunately, there is an option to turn off the names of locations, making it safer to explore without being swatted. I've played Pokemon Go for years and there's no way to turn off the location names in that game, and it's honestly been a pretty concerning issue for my safety in the past, so I'm pretty happy that this is included within the game. When exploring the Astral Plane, you'll occasionally encounter NPC Keyblade wielders that you can battle. I really like the bird-shaped mask that these enemies have on. These characters seem to be from other societies within the game, and will challenge the player to claim the power of certain trophies, as a big thing in this title is the societies fighting over the power of the trophies, being similar to the unions fighting over the light in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Although with tons of different trophies in the game, it seems like only Disney characters for now. Within the beta, there are no Final Fantasy characters used as trophies. The only instance of Final Fantasy we see is through the Guide Moogle. Now, does this mean that we won't get Final Fantasy trophies in the final game? Not exactly. In general, it seems like Kingdom Hearts is stepping away from Final Fantasy. I've seen suggestions that maybe they're waiting for a crossover event with Final Fantasy Ever Crisis, the other Square Enix mobile title right now, since there is an image of the Advent Children version of Cloud within the trailer, so maybe they're just waiting to drop the characters later on. Back in the music department, we have new combat music for Scala and Caelum. Listening to it reminds me a lot of the Waltz of the Damned from Kingdom Hearts 2. After winning a battle, we also get a brand new version of Dearly Beloved. It's a bit more upbeat and lends itself to that feeling of victory. Around the map are grand chests that players can open up. These can be far away from a player's location, but you can use AP to teleport out there. And within the chest, you can win more trophies to use in combat. While in combat, Missing Link features a typing wheel similar to the Pokemon mechanics. Simple things like fire beats ice, but water beats fire. There's only 6 elements to have to worry about, and each one will be attached to their trophies, meaning you'll likely have several loadouts to counter enemies' elemental powers. It's a good thing to keep multiple trophies around for this. Now we enter the game's microtransactions. For starters, you're not allowed to put any money into the game just yet since this is a closed beta, although we can see where that money is going to be going since jewels have made a return. This is the premium currency from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and it's back. This time, you're not only able to use it as the gacha to roll for new trophies, but it's also possible to spend money on items as well as additional costumes. Costumes in this game are gonna be insane because it's a full 3D model this time around, so I can see how Missing Link might shake me for a few dollars if I see some really good drip. But when you die in this game, you're able to run the fight back if you spend jewels. In the beta, it seems like the only way to run it back is by spending jewels, and the player will res back with full HP. Personally, spending jewels to rematch on the spot doesn't seem worth it, but to each their own. We also get a better look at how the Keyblade combat is different. Currently, there are only 2 Keyblades in the game, but they each have a different playstyle. The close range combat is more akin to a traditional Kingdom Hearts battle, while the long range weapons shoot out light that you can charge up. This one reminds me a lot of the Wisdom form from Kingdom Hearts 2, although if you don't want to play in the combat at all, the game has the auto button, automatically inputting attacks for the player character, so you don't have to. This is great if you're going to be going through a bunch of low-level Heartless, but might not be the most optimal for later challenges. Although when playing with the controller, the auto button can be activated by pressing triangle. The triangle button has always been associated with the press to win mentality in the Kingdom Hearts series, and that has not changed with Missing Link since it is literally press to win. I love that they made it the triangle button. Speaking of controller support, we finally get to see it in action, and the UI for the game will change depending on the type of controller that the player is using. So Xbox and PlayStation controller users will have their own custom UI, which is super cool. This will likely be the way that I play through Missing Link for the most part, since it feels the most like a traditional Kingdom Hearts experience. But being able to use a modern controller is a dream come true true. Thank you so much for this. That's not all though. Using controllers will input the trophies as shortcuts, meaning you can press L1 with triangle or circle to commit an attack. And this is directly pulled from the Kingdom Hearts mainline games, where you used L1 to shortcut magic and items from that game. It's also possible to move around the HUD items to fit your own personal playstyle. This Kingdom Hearts game gives you tons of options for customization. I know players will find what works out for them. Like, I'm totally here for it. Now for the technical aspect of the game. From what I've seen on Twitter, it seems like Missing Link is going to be a battery consumer. It's a pretty high graphic game for a cell phone and focuses on using GPS for a part of its main gameplay mechanics. No matter how you cut it, this game is going to consume your battery, with mentions of half the battery disappearing only after 2 hours of gameplay. I always recommend getting a portable charger when playing these GPS games. That satellite picking up your exact location is what's chomping up that battery. The game does have a battery saver mode within the settings though. How much it actually helps, I'll only be able to say when I finally get the game in my hands. There are also ways to change the graphics of the game within the Astral Plane. You can change the details of the world, including the height of the buildings, decorations, and other smaller details. This is probably another attempt to save the battery, but it's nice to have the option. And lastly, there have been instances of lag during the gameplay. Of course, the game is still in beta and it will be optimized more before release, but it's hard to deny that it exists when it happens so often from the footage I've seen. Then again, I don't know the device each player is personally running on, so obviously your mileage may vary. But one of my favorite all-time settings did make a return. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link has sound settings for its music and its sound effects, making it so you can alter them to whatever levels you'd like. Especially for a phone game, I'd like to play my own music when I'm outside. Sound settings in a Kingdom Hearts game is still fairly a new concept in the series, so I'm so hyped to see it return in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. But yes, these are all the things that we found in the Kingdom Hearts Missing Link beta so far. My FOMO is absolutely going crazy, like I can't wait to get the game in my hands myself, so I can give you guys the full experience from start to finish. But I'm still super hyped for all the people who are actively playing. The beta is going to be running for a while, so new information may be released soon, but for now, these are 30 things that I thought you should know about Kingdom Hearts Missing Link and its beta. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay awesome.